hacking terrorist networks. If seriously, if you think you're gonna be like, if you're gonna be offended by stuff and like scary stuff, well, I'm gonna show some scary shit. I'm scared myself. All right. Okay. I want everybody to please stand and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I'm going to say this before any of you guys start doing this shit. This presentation is for informational and educational purposes only. I am not responsible for anything you do with this, all right? If you get killed, arrested, or hacked by a terrorist, that's your fault. I'm not joking. No laws will be broken during this presentation. I'm not going to go to our terrorist website and break it for you. That's going to be you after I'm done. But I'm not telling you to do that. And dealing with terrorists is inherently dangerous, so be careful. They might come and try to suicide bomb you or something. That's not a joke. Or kill you. All right. The first thing we're going to do is reconnaissance. So we're going to go recon our target. And a lot of things you're going to learn about our target is, you guys know about them. Like, one thing you're going to find out are the logos. Over here I have three logos here. I have the Al-Qassam Brigades, Al-Qaeda of Iraq, and I have the Jaish al-Mujahideen of Iraq. You gotta know the basic histories of your groups and their cause, and understand the users of any groups you infiltrate. I'm not only going to be talking about Arabic groups. This could work for any terrorist organization that is listed by the Department of Justice. It could be a white supremacist group, Irish Republican Army. It could be any of these groups. It could even be PETA or ETA or ALF. You know, American Liberation Front is an actual terrorist organization designated by the Department of Justice. Now, when you go to a forum or something, there's different kinds. There's about 5 types of users. So the direct links, they're the people who are directly tied to the organization itself. There will be people who actually know the inner hierarchy, and they'll be the ones who are usually tied to the media wing and post the communiques, post the videos, and say, or just even post organizational events. Then there are muckrakers. Muckrakers are people who usually just talk about a lot of crap to stir up shit in the forums. They usually post a forum of some article that goes against their cause and really gets people riled up. There are fanboys. Fanboys are the people who they make YouTube videos and Photoshop images and GIF images of stupid things that are usually tied to the group. They get a lot of respect for this, and people like that. And they're cheerleaders. They're just the same people. All they do is say the same exact thing over and over again after each posting. In an Arabic forum, they usually just say Allah Akbar 1,000 times in a row after say a video is released of an IED blow up an American soldier, and they get a lot of posts they get like 3,000 posts in that, and I have an image of that. And every terrorist forum has a hacker type person in it, and they usually distribute wares or that's backdoored or some script kiddie crap that they think they're elite hackers, but they're not. Here's an example of a direct link posting. This is from an Al Qaeda forum. This is by Asaha Media, and this is a video they posted. You see that there's a banner and a list of links that they upload to. Then this is basically a video. I believe this was about a IED for an Afghan bombing. This is an example of a Muckraker post. I found one in English. This is basically something about, something about some flag or something that pisses people off. And here's a fanboy posting. He made this video all hailing the glorious Mujahideen. And a lot of users, you can see, like and thank the post. And that's a typical response from a English-speaking Al Qaeda forum, actually. And here's a cheerleader post. And as you can see, it actually does say Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar about 1,000 times. And here's a typical hacker thing. just posting some nonsense about SOX proxies and trying to get away things. And this is an actual post of how to get Windows 7 from a terrorist forum. It is backdoored if you want it. So I'm going to reconnaissance again. So before we get to the forum, we're going to do some fuzzing. Fuzzing is basically using dirbuster, wfuzzing. We're going to find the directories behind them, everything. We're going to find out what kind of server they use. We're going to find out just a basic fingerprinting, footprinting of the forum itself. Most of the forums used by terrorists are null versions of Vbulletin. Null versions are rarest versions of Vbulletin, and they are usually all backdoored and have a way to get around them. And a lot of those people are not smart enough to remove what kind of source they use or what kind of software they use. So you can always research the known vulnerabilities for it. And here you right-click view. If they actually remove the footer banner, you can just right-click and view source, and it'll tell you what kind of version it is. Okay, here's the first vulnerability of a null Vbulletin script. I got this from the 1920 Revolutionary Brigade's website. Their forum, they're an Iraqi insurgent group. Now, if you type the validator.php after the end of a null Vbulletin forum, it'll show you the directory listing. Here, they actually had an SQL backup of the directory list of their forum, including usernames, passwords, private messages, and posts. You could download it. Here's another vulnerability with a null Vbulletin script. It's if you put in this string in here, it will actually download the SQL file, and you can save it to your hard drive. And here's remote file inclusion with a null Vbulletin script. This is an example taken from Kafka Center. This is a Chechen terrorist organization, media wing. And I didn't actually do this one, but what they did over here is they actually remote filed a shell. They remote in a shell to the Kafka Center forum and basically got root access to it. Now, Vbulletin also has a lot of database error pages, and once that happens, you see a lot of cool information. This is from the Mark Islam forum. And you can see I've locked out the username and IP address and all the information there because I'm not telling you to go hack them, and I don't want you to hack them. But you will see that's where the username and information is stored, just on database error pages. And now we're going to talk about winning hearts and minds. Now, when you go into a forum, you're going to be new to this. And you're going to want to know how you want to get to know people. So let's go say you want to go infiltrate Al-Qaeda, but you're an American person here or some white guy here, and you want to go into it. That's fine with them. Al-Qaeda, they don't really care if you're an Arab, but if you really like their cause, let you in. So what you do here is we're going to try the green newbie approach. We're going to say, I'm very interested in Islam, and I want to learn your cause. They will jump at the chance to try to convert you. You could do this to any kind of group. You could go to a white supremacist group and say, you know what, I really hate those Jews, and they will say, come on. And with a white supremacist group, you have to pretend you're white. Now, like I said, this goes with knowing your target. Okay. Islamic extremist groups don't care if you're white. They'll take a black guy, a Chinese guy. They don't care.
Do they care whether you're a man or a woman?
Actually, they don't care if you're a man or a woman. They'll gladly take a sister aboard. And as an Islamic forum, you're all brothers and sisters. And however, a white supremacist forum, they might care, because all women, according to them, should just be barefoot, pregnant, and in a hot kitchen. Yeah, that's the truth. It is the truth. Okay, so for that, you just have to know your target. And actually, one time a woman actually pretended to go to pretended to be using the same approach, try to convert to Islam, and the Mujahideen brothers really loved her, and like they wanted to get with her actually, and like she just flirted her way to like finding information out, and she kind of turned them in afterwards. But the kind of why you don't really trust women from online. But it's being a woman is a very good idea actually for some of these groups. Yes. I mean,
it's amazing what you can do.
And
when
actually,
you have memory
being a
glands.
woman for, say, even like a carding forum or a hacker forum, you get lots of props because, yes. Now, here's going to be our main way of actually getting intel on a terrorist organization. We're going to mimic the fanboy. We're going to create our own videos, our own images, our own glory to all of pictures, and we're going to upload them all over the forum. Or if you're going to go white supremacists, burning crosses and stuff like that. So we're going to create Photoshop images, compilation videos, and we're going to create our own YouTube profiles. And it's much. This is actually the truth. If you friggin' make a video of like somebody just died and took a picture of his dead video, of a dead image, and put a star on it and all this happy music and shit, they love it. They will eat this up. Dude. And you'll get so many rep points on the forums. You can also do compilation videos, and with the Islamic insurgency in Iraq, it's very easy to do. All I gotta do is take a bunch of ID videos, string them together, put some Arabic music behind it, put it up there. They love that too. Do not mix opposing groups. And this is why, no, this is very important.
Yeah, it really does happen
this
a
is
lot.
very important because especially in the Islamic extremist groups, they are not, all of them hate each other. At the beginning of my presentation, I showed 3 groups there. They all hate each other. Al-Qassam brigades hate Al-Qaeda. And Josh al-Mujahideen hate Al-Qassam brigades. The Shiite and the Sunni, they don't like that. And they fight over stupid things too. There's one major group in Iraq that didn't join Al-Qaeda because of some issue with the Kurds. And that's why you do not mix and match these videos together. In the United Kingdom, there was some guy tried to be a fanboy to try to recruit people to go to Al-Qaeda. And at the end of the song, they said, it's a music video that was done pretty funny actually. And at the end of the song, it says, "Peace to Hamas and Hezbollah." And when that video came out, the people on the forums like, what is this kuffar infidel bullshit that you're trying to say here that peace to Hamas and infidel, peace to Hamas and Hezbollah? They're opposing groups. So it's very important to know not to do that. And also don't put death metal to these compilation videos. If you're going to do a...
you got the example from
death metal is good for white supremacist groups though. Very good for white supremacist groups. And there was a group called Al-Tawhid Al-Jihad of Sweden. They were a fake organization, and they used a chemistry video to try to say that they're building their own bombs, and they got called out. So never claim to never use other people's video and say that's your own group, because you can get called out, and that's stupid. Now this is another method of doing it. It's against the rules of many forums. You're gonna create multiple accounts and just talk to yourself. You're gonna create the teacher student relationship on it as well, whereas one person will keep going on there asking questions, and you reply to your own self answering those questions. They'll build up points between each other, and a lot of these forums actually think that post count is important. So this is one way of doing it. And while you're doing this, be sure you go through a different proxy each time, because if they see that you're the same person, they're going to call you a spy, a CIA agent, and they're going to ban you. So after you do all this, it's time to do extracurricular activities outside of the forums. You're going to start building your own blogs and your own YouTube accounts and everything like that, and then start posting them out and try to get people from those forums to go to your own things. So it's really not uncommon to see this. A lot of people do this, and it's very easy to do. This is an example of the blog that was created by a fanboy. Note the flag there's a Shahada, and it's very important to note here. Actually go to a lot of forums. They will ask you several questions. One of them is, this is Islamic Forum actually. So they will ask you like, what is the Shahada? And the answer to that is, there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. So if you want to, that's one question I'm going to ask you. And they're also, independent what forum it is, what type of exchange they are, they're also going to ask you, name the pillars of Islam. So this is very important to know what kind of group you're infiltrating before you go into the forum. But anyway, it is really not uncommon to see that you can go to a regular Blogspot page or WordPress page and just create your own blog about crap or whatever it is you want to create, and it'll still stay there. You have freedom of speech. They won't take it down. And then once you do that, you just link back to your own post, say, this is my blog, yay, I'm helping the movement. So now we're going to go into honeypots.
Oh crap! The cameras are rolling.
Okay, so this time we're going to create blogs outside the WordPress or Blogspot.com realms that use our own domain names. So you're going to create your own blog. You could use a free network too to do it. But when you're doing all this stuff, be sure to protect yourself, because you don't want somebody actually calling you about your blog. And especially as a shared posting provider for these blogs or any of these things you'll be creating. And also, once you post your link to the blogs to your forum, people will start clicking on them, and you can check the backlinks and see the logs and the referral links. If you see a referral link from a different forum, you now got a new forum to go infiltrate, and this keeps building up this way. And this actually happened several times where if you become a very big member of a forum, you can start causing your own stink on the forum too. It's just over something very petty, and then say, oh my God, I think the admin's a CIA agent, or he's a Jew or whatever, and then like, you just make your own forum. And people who are your friends in that forum will join your forum, and then you have all their passwords and everything that way. It's great. A forum, typically a forum usually stays up for about 3 months if it's not run by the CIA. And they usually get taken down pretty fast because people start complaining, or they usually see that this is actually a place where terrorists are talking. And that's just really for Islamic Extremist Forum. A white supremacist forum or another group that's not the evil Al-Qaeda or evil Muslim type forums, they stay up for a long time. But for these forums, they go down really fast. So anyway, we're doing this, the forum idea, you see the same, you use a shared host provider, use your own domain name. Just be sure that you have some reputation about doing this, and if a forum does go down, do not associate that forum with your forum, because people are going to think that you're a spy. When groups upload videos, they use free web services. Web services such as Mega Upload, Rapid Share, FileFlyer, and web hosting providers. One way to get information on these groups is to create your own web services. This is a disclaimer I have on this. You could actually make a legitimate business by making your own web service like this. Just have a terms of service there. Usually my terms of service, I just say I don't accept child pornography. You can upload whatever you want. Child pornography and wares. Just the usual thing. That way, if someone complains to you about a file, you have the legal means to take it down or whatever, and you don't have to worry about people saying that you're providing material support. So it's always good to have a terms and conditions or a disclaimer on the website. But creating a file hosting company will require dedicated or meter services, and that would cost a lot of money. So if you're really hardcore into doing this, you do need investment in doing this. But you will get the direct links by doing this. You'll get the person actually uploading the videos to the server and you can find the direct links to the group itself. So this is basically starting a web hosting service. Say you want to start it, you can start like your own service with creating blogs. One of them that did this was Limbpad. I don't think they're around anymore. But you could create your own blogs. So you can install WordPress MU, and everybody create their own WordPress blog on this, and then everybody just start going to your forum, creating their own blogs. It's pretty funny. As I said, I went into the file hosting already. Basically, that's the slide for it. And also proxy services are very important too, because they are also paranoid about doing things. So finding a proxy script is very easy and free on the internet, and that one doesn't require a dedicated server. So just create a proxy service, put it in your signature of your post account, or you could either pretend to be a hacker on the forum and say, use my proxy services, I never get caught, and that just put it there. And then you get the logs of all the IP addresses of people using your services. And like I said, you can use it for a legitimate business. You can actually make money out of it. Just set the term of service and follow it. If you don't follow it, you can also get in trouble for it, so make sure you do follow it. And like I said, it does cost money. And before I step off word, do not go deep into a terrorist network. Just don't go deep into it. You can get very hurt. Never divulge any of your personal information to a terrorist, because that's very easy to do. And of course, if you feel threatened, just stop. Come back a few weeks later, start again. And now, do you have any questions for that before I go off?
When you're posting to these forums, do you purposefully dumb down your language, the grammatical errors, stuff like that?
Okay, the question was, if I post to a forum, do I dumb down my language? Typically, I do not dumb down my language significantly, but I do make myself seem ignorant of the cause, so they could teach me some. And they love to teach you some because they sound so smart when they do it. So
It's like the master your
yeah, it's
Padawan.
a student, the teacher-student relationship, and they love doing that. So a lot of time I will act a little bit ignorant and stuff like that. Also, when it comes to an Arabic forum, I do use a translator. And when it comes to when it goes to a translator, I try to post as little as possible, because online translators do suck. Vbulletin does suck, and even the paid for one, Sistrans translator, is not exactly a very good translator, because they did caught me on that one once. They said it doesn't seem that you're Arabic and we don't want you here anymore. But so when that happens, I just remember the fanboy and just post my own images and stuff, and they still like that. That's why I suggest doing that.
Are there specific languages where you can kind of maybe arbitrage, like, oh, I'm one of the few people who knows both, I don't know, like German and Amharic, so maybe I can kind of get some points by like translating from different places?
It depends on the group you're infiltrating. There are a lot of different dialects in Arabic. You could just Farsi, there's Farsi, there's Urdu. It depends on where you're going. So you could get props definitely by, say, if you could speak Farsi and Urdu, and Indonesian and that Somali language they use, you could get a lot of props for that, because a lot of videos and documents need translation, and English is always a plus for the Islamic extremists. Now, for white supremacists, German is good, and German and English. Green shirt, yeah.
Is there a point where you can actually be targeted by the CIA for being a legitimate terrorist, if they don't think that you're
Okay, the question is, can I be targeted by the CIA or any law enforcement because they think that I'm the terrorist itself? It's a very thin line, and you have to know the law. Mainly, if you do not provide material support for a terrorist or actually commit a terrorist act, you are safe. You are protected by free speech. So you could post all the videos or fanboy crap you want, and they just think that you're a fanboy. But if you provide material supports, like they come to you and say, hey, can you give me hosting services, please? And you say, sure, free on me. That's providing material support. And then you can be deemed a terrorist.
When you're replicating their data to infiltrate their cells, do you feel that you're actually helping their cause at all, because you are spreading their word?
Spreading propaganda, and
That's what their goal is, right? I mean, they're trying to get the word out and spread it around, and you give web hosting services, and you are providing that. And
well, I'm not providing web hosting services no, I'm not providing them directly for them in a legal sense. I'm just providing it for anybody. I just so happen to spam it on their forums. I do not feel I'm helping their. Do I feel that propagating my own fanboy propaganda or helping provide web hosting services to these terrorist groups, helping the terrorist groups themselves? It's a very good question. I myself personally don't think I'm helping them at all, because basically, they're gonna find their own way of doing it. And if the thing
Might
is
as well dump the
controlled,
data
if
and
I'm
rip it.
controlling it myself, that means I'm in control of their media wing. So that's not a good thing for them.
The second part, kind of piggyback off the guys' research back there. When you are creating all these other posts and forums, a lot of us rely on security for security. So do you feel that you are creating that security for these cells when the CIA and FBI are trying to find the real bad guy?
No. The question is if I'm creating more obscurity, if I'm confusing the FBI or CIA by posting as a fanboy, if I feel I'm doing that, and no, I don't feel I'm doing that, because basically what they're going for are people who are direct links or people who are really going to be are actually going to be committing a terrorist act. So sure, they'll probably tail me, and fine, you could do that. But they're not going to get anything out of me or anybody else. And if they ask any questions, or eventually they're going to try to ask me questions if they ever do that, and it won't be a waste of their time, really. I'll just give them information.
So what do you do with all this information that you collect?
My reason rationale for doing this is because I have my own website where I archive the videos and documents, and this is my way of getting all my stuff myself. You can all do whatever you want with this information. If you want to be and tell on people, go right ahead. I don't care. It's also, I just kind of did it for my own shits and giggles, to be honest.
Keeping America safe.
And yeah, you could keep America safe by doing that too.
With the high turnover rate on forums going down, how do you any tips to find these self-communication?
But the question is, since the forums keep going down a lot, how do I find the new information for new forums? Okay, there's two ways actually. Some forums, when you sign up with an email address, they will notify you saying, "Brother, we got a new forum up. Here's a new email. Here's a new link." And also through the web services, I have the referral logs, and people eventually will bookmark your blog. Excuse me, will bookmark your blog, and they'll just go back to your thing or link it up through the new forum. And a lot of times when a forum comes back up, they just take the old database and re-upload the old database. So once it comes back up, your links are still there. Okay, back there?
You showed some great vulnerabilities up there. Were you going to post the deck, or is there a URL we can check to see those?
No. The question is if I'm going to post a URL for you to test the vulnerabilities on, I'm
Just
not.
get the video and press pause.
The PHP, I don't want the exact links, but you said if you put PHP, you had a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just press pause.
Yeah, well, okay, the first one was validated. The first one, if you put validated.php at the end of the forum, it'll give you the backlinks of, it'll give you all the directory listing of the forum itself, if you put validated.php. The other one was, if you go to install directory, upgrade 308.php, and then get table, I forgot the exact statement, you get the database. It's very easy to find these tricks online. Just Google null Vbulletin hacks, and you'll get them really easily. I can't hear you.
Many Middle Eastern countries censor their web access for their citizens. What's the pros and cons of hosting this stuff on a shared server that also hosts porn?
The question is if I have a shared server, if they come across a shared server that hosts porn.
Yes. Therefore, you cannot have your Islamic site.
Oh, they use okay. The question is a lot of Middle Eastern countries, a lot of countries censor the internet. So how do they get to my server, or how do I get to your server if it has pornography on it or anything that's against their country? They go to a proxy, and that just mitigates that right there.
Comment to his question. Most shared web hosts also say no problem in their terms of service.
Yeah, okay, yeah. His comment was most shared hosts says no pornography to terms of services. A lot of free file hosting services don't even care what you put up there unless it's not child porn and where's. So, and you will see a lot of files hosted by extremist groups that have pornography on the links, and they just say ignore those brothers. It's for the greater cause.
Comparing terrorist networks to like the hacker community where there's like the elite underground and then the strict communities, do you think that the forums that you're attacking are like the significant targets, or is there more underground community that should really be addressed?
Okay, the question is if I think the forums I'm attacking are a significant target, or if there's a more underground communities that should be addressed. The forums I'm attacking, the forums that you can attack, are a significant target. Some of them are. A lot of them are just fake forums. But some of them are significant targets because that's where the direct links to the media wing is located. The media wing is a very important aspect of an organization. So they need this. They need these forums to disseminate information. So it's a very important part. There are of course more underground methods that they do communicate with each other, such as they have their own PGP encrypted email software they try to promote, and you can see that on the forums a lot. And eventually they tell you what people to contact, and that's another way to get into them. But in terms of your question, the forums are very important to actually get into first, and that's a very good foothold or starting point to get into the networks. Okay.
How deep do you think you get into this? And as a consequence of that, how much trouble plus danger do you get in?
I've gotten death threats.
I get those every day.
I know I got death threats from like real terrorists. I had some terrorists find my telephone number, call me, and ask me shit. But that's because I wasn't adhering to my own rules that I set for myself. There is a danger to this, a very big danger to this if you're not doing it right. The best way to do it is stay anonymous. The other danger, which everybody here is probably more scared of than the terrorists themselves, is actual law enforcement trying to get a hold of you. And if law enforcement get a hold of you, just say that you're not a terrorist and they'll just leave you alone. They will just leave you alone.
Are you not a member of the Communist Party?
Right. Any other question before I turn it over? Okay, this is the last one I do.
I was wondering what IM networks terrorists tend to use.
Twitter.
Yes, they do. They use Twitter. They use AOL Instant Messenger. They use Yahoo Instant Messenger. They use IRC channels.
I imagine they don't use ICQ because it's started by an Israeli company.
I don't think they care about that because AOL is AOL.